Today we will hear from foundational Black Americans speaking on why Black Americans need to continue to protect the culture and delineate. Check it out.
Delineation is spreading, and we can see why. Our history and our legit concerns regarding erasure, it's treated as an afterthought. And the evidence of that is that our history, specifically critical race theory, would have gave immigrants the blueprint of what was about to happen to you. But because our words fall on deaf ears, our tragedies fall on uncaring eyes, now, today looks the way that it does. Fast forward, when the governor of New York said what he said about immigrants built the country, and Black Americans quickly, swiftly corrected him and said, no. And he came out and gave PC answer because you govern all people, not just immigrants. And we see at the Grammys, they say it again. Our concerns are treated as an afterthought. And we've seen this action over and over again. There is a pattern, hence why the emergence of the need for delineation. You can't keep ignoring what you see. And again, delineate doesn't mean to hate, but it does mean you need to see how your neighbor sees you. Words only mean so much. It's the actions that tell you what it's all about. And we've seen over and over again, FBAs isn't to hate on anyone, but it is to preserve what it is that our continuous efforts and our ancestors gave to this country. Oh, and if your excuse is, well, when you're in the heat of the moment, you're thinking about what's happening. You're not thinking about all of that. And that's what we're saying. When someone is sleepy, when someone is drunk, when someone is scared, when all of that's going on, that's when how people really feel come out. We're not ignoring or denying the fact that what's happening to immigrants is happening to immigrants. But we cannot overlook the purposeful erasure that we keep seeing happen over and over. It's a pattern at this point. And we're making the right choice for ourselves.
You see, family, I love when they tell the truth.
Hey, mommy, I don't think as Ethiopians we're ready to have the conversation that we love cosplaying African American when it benefits us from permission to using the N-word, to being credited for or profiting off of the ingenuity of Black Americans, by blending in because of our skin color, i.e. people trusting, loving, and endorsing Black Americans for good food, music, language, fashion, social justice movements, arts, etc. Everything that erupted out of this beautiful culture. Basically, we love clout chasing African American culture for our own benefits, but when it really comes down to it, when it comes down to being Black, we'll play model citizen immigrant in a hot second for our own convenience, forsaking our Black brothers and sisters for any opportunity, no, for even much less, for a man or a moment. Yeah. I don't think we're ready for that either. My bad.
Do you think there's a difference between foundational Black American versus an African? Because I feel like even though I was born in Africa, most of my life was raised in America. I joined the military and I was ready to die for this country. Yeah. So technically speaking, I am African American.
Yeah, you are African American.
So do you think there's a difference between
and
those two?
You deserve every bit of America that you fought for and did everything for. Yeah. But your ancestors ain't do nothing for this country. Be honest with us. Yeah. Let's be real. They got us here. If it wasn't for their hard work, if it wasn't for what
you are the resident African American right now.
If African Americans win in their struggle in the United States, that is a blueprint for us in Africa and the rest of the world. So with their struggle for reparations, it equals to the conversation about what Sudan needs from England, what Sudan needs from the Arab world, what Sudan needs from every other person that has been able to take a part of South Sudan.
You see, family? I know we get tired of these videos, but family, us reminding these people is very necessary, okay? We must keep our foot on their necks. They know what they're doing. They are deliberately using African American, Black by itself, fat, ham-hock, neck-ass niggas like Dante Cow. These people are dangerous. They are using our terms to deliberately extract our culture, while they preserve their own. But I'm telling you, family, Our culture will be preserved for us. Okay, we will be liberated. And as usual, like always, our liberation will liberate them as well. But y'all gonna respect us, best believe. Peace and blessings, family.
This rant is going to be for the books. And this ain't got nothing to do with just black folks and the black diaspora. I am sick of fucking going up my timeline hearing British black folks, Africans, Jamaicans, Bahamians, whatever the fuck y'all are, sit here and talk about African Americans out of chattel slavery as if y'all know what the fuck it means to be us or be from this country. Y'all equate the American dream with us. Bitch, we were never supposed to be a part of the American dream. Do you not know the American dream is based off of white people? Whiteness is the American fucking dream, you y'all sit here and y'all talk about how good we fucking have it. We are the only fucking race in this country that did not ask to fucking be here, you dumb. We were 3/4 of a person for a good fucking minute. Right now, our civil rights as African Americans are trying to be stripped away. DEI, affirmative action, our voting right. We got the president right now saying civil rights was an issue because white people, it was bad for white people because white people weren't allowed to get in certain universities. Bitch, we had to create our own universities just to get a fucking education. We had redlining, experimenting on black people to see if medical shit actually worked. A black woman was just put in a fucking coma to stay alive. Her body was moving, her brain was fucking dead so she could produce a goddamn child that is still in the fucking NICU. We got black women suing doctors in Virginia right now because they did procedures on their bodies that made them fucking sterile after birth. Our black men here are still being fucking strange fruit, and y'all want to talk about fucking movies? This makes me not connected to any of because if y'all actually studied the African American history in this fucking country, you would shut the fuck up. Y'all only study the American dream. That is the white American dream. That is not our fucking dream. We were never supposed to be a part of it except for being slaves or fucking servants. Y'all sit here somehow, we came to this country and we did this. Y'all stepped on our backs to do so. Without us, there wouldn't have been no entry of y'all. Y'all sit here and y'all make the youngest black race in this world the example of how everybody should be. Yes, we know our culture is big. We know we've made something out of nothing. We know everybody bites off of us. And yet, y'all do all that shit and all that talking and y'all don't even study our fucking history. Y'all look at rap, TV shows, music, and y'all think y'all know some shit. And then y'all come here and y'all sit on y'all fucking high horses and act like y'all done better than us. Bitch, you will never be better than us in this fucking country. Cause without us, you wouldn't fucking exist in this country. Now do me a fucking favor. If your shit is so much better, if your country is so much better, if you know where the fuck you come from, if you that fucking Billy Badass, get your fucking education. Take your ass back to your country and teach them and grow your shit. So we can go visit, step on y'all necks and talk about how bad y'all are doing. So we can tell y'all how big and how bad we were to come to y'all country and get a leg up and y'all need to work 3 times as harder. You can't, because you won't do it. But you'll steady look at us as the example and the fucking problem. And y'all wonder why we can't connect. Black folks don't ever say shit to none of y'all, but everybody wants to have a discussion board about us. The reason we got what we got is because we had to fight for blood, sweat, lives, and tears. And we still fighting now. So, if you are not an African American born out of chattel slavery, shut the up about us. Mind the business that pays you, because talking about us ain't giving you a fucking leg up. It's making you look stupid. And actually pick up a book and learn black history in America and not from a white person. Pick up some black motherfucking books before you start speaking about us.
Now, y'all, didn't we tell these people, we told these people, do not talk about our ancestors. We told them that. Nah, the girl who sat up there, did all of that, making fun of slavery, cotton picking, and all that stuff, the girl from South Africa, I complain, y'all done end up passing away at the age of 27 due to depression. She done took herself on up out of him. Now, I knew when she started talking about the ancestors, I done told these people, I told them plenty of times, we all did. We told them, we do not have the same ancestors. They didn't believe us. We do not have the same ancestors. Our ancestors don't give a damn about you. They do not care. And I went as far as to say, okay, on the world, hold on. They don't even fuck with y'all like that. They don't even fuck with you like that, okay? And these people sat up there. It had rained in NOLA. Y'all remember it had rained in NOLA. It always rains in NOLA. It always floods in NOLA. They had seen a little rain and flood, and they was running around celebrating and shit. We was like, baby, that's nothing that always happens there like that. I said, but our ancestors is still finna deal with y'all. Okay? Our ancestors will deal with y'all. Let me tell you, the Minister of Defense, baby, that's step one. It ain't even done yet. It ain't even finished yet. Okay? But y'all gonna learn to stop talking about our ancestors. Stop talking about the previous struggles of Black Americans. I said, because one, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all run around here, y'all listen to your white folk. Y'all be listening to them, but they get got too. They get got too. Okay, they get got too. You better look at our self-deletion statistical data. You better look at our self-deletion statistical data. Look at our mental health statistical data for our country. Look at the family side. When they get and take out their whole family. Look at our data. They get got too. They get got too. Have a good day.
If immigrants built America, why didn't they build up their homelands? Why come to a foreign land and build that up, but not fight to build up the land that you're from? That's the part that I'm really not understanding with a lot of y'all argument. It's not making sense to me. Why travel hundreds of thousands of miles to a foreign place and put all of this work into building something when you could just take that same work ethic and tenacity and build up the fucking land that your ancestors have walked? I'm not understanding that. Can somebody please break it down to me like a 3-year-old? And I don't want to hear, oh, it's not that easy and blah, 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 blah. Because Black Americans absolutely built this country. Was it easy? No. We have whole cities and shit underwater. Whole black-ass cities underwater. Whole black-ass cities bombed for no other reason than they were black-ass cities. Getting chased and bitten and mutilated by dogs. There's literally a recipe book on how to cook and prepare a Black American. Strange fruit hanging from the trees was not just a fun song that was created. So was it easy? No. But did we do it? Absolutely. Nobody ever wants to give us credit for the things that we did and how you're able to come over here and benefit from the shit that we did. You don't want to be respectful to the people who built this country. You want to lie and say that we didn't build this country and that it was immigrants who built this country, which is crazy. Half of y'all are not even aware that Black indigenous people do exist. Half of y'all are not even aware of the history of the $5 Indian. Half of y'all are not even aware of the paper genocide and the reclassification of Black Americans. And it's always somebody who not from here trying to tell us who the fuck we are and what we did, which is absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane. Never could I ever go to Africa and try to tell them people who they are and where they come from. Never could I ever go to Asia or Europe and try to tell those people who they are and where they come from. How dare I think I know more than the people of that land? But for some reason, because Black American culture is so overly accessible to everybody, everybody thinks that they can speak on it. And that's just not the case. And y'all are learning with the FBA movement, which is not a group. It is a declaration of lineage. Y'all are learning with the Black Indigenous American movement, which is not a group. but a declaration of lineage. Okay? That we've been here. There were already millions of Black indigenous people who were already here. What y'all don't know is our grandmothers been telling us who the fuck we was. Our great-grandmothers been telling us who the fuck we was. And I never understood why I've never encountered an African who has a story that was passed down of somebody being taken from Africa. If we all were taken from Africa and put on these motherfucking boats, why don't none of y'all have no family stories that were passed down of some of your great-great-great-great-great-grand relatives that were taken and kidnapped and put on these motherfucking boats and never to be seen again? That should be something that's passed down, because in our lineage, in the Black American household, the stories of us being indigenous American are absolutely passed down. Most of us still have the land that our family owned. Not to mention the census records that prove that we were documented as Indian and then reclassified as Negro. It's called paper genocide. When you get rid of a people through paper, through documentation. I'm sick of people speaking on Black Americans and y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. And y'all think that y'all voices are supposed to be the loudest ones in the room, and y'all not even from here. Even if we go according to the slavery story, we still have hundreds of years here, more than anybody else. So don't come and fucking tell me about what my heritage and my lineage is. That's crazy as hell. And you wonder why we're delineating. You wonder why we're claiming all of our shit. Because y'all are disrespectful as fuck. Now all of a sudden R&B and country and all these things came from Africa. Are y'all crazy? If R&B came from Africa, name me a popular R&B artist in African history at any point. Because if it started there, then it would have continued through the generation, correct? So show me some artist in Africa right now that is pushing R&B music the way that you hear it here. You're not going to. You're not going to, because they didn't start it. Name me a hip-hop artist that started in Africa that is famous and written down and passed through history to this day. You're not going to. Who is your African Michael Jackson? Who is your African Beyonce? Who is your African Boyz II Men? We can go on and on. Who is your African Whitney Houston? Who is your African Duke Ellington? Who is your African Nina Simone? We can go on and on. The disrespect has to stop. We know who the fuck we are. We know exactly who we are. And now y'all starting to learn who we are. All of this fear mongering now that ICE is outside. Oh, y'all gotta be careful because they may mistake you for an immigrant. Y'all gotta be careful because, they'll be coming after y'all next. Babe, ICE has been outside since 2003. They've never mistaken us for anybody who is not from here. And it hasn't happened at all. So what are we talking about? This year, especially this February, this Black History Month, a lot of y'all are going to be feeling real stupid. You should already be feeling stupid. But you're going to be feeling real stupid because there's a lot of shit coming out this year. Go look at the $5 Indians getting kicked off the reservations. Because now they're trying to say, oh, y'all pretendians. Y'all trying to claim to be Native Americans. No, baby, we're not claiming to be Native American. We're establishing to the world and letting the world know that we know who we are. Black indigenous Americans. Our grandmamas been telling us who the fuck we are. Those stories been getting passed down through our bloodline. If your grandmama told you that you was Nigerian, don't you believe her? If your grandmama told you you was Italian, don't you believe that you Italian? So why when our grandmamas tell us who the fuck we are, all of a sudden we don't know and it's not accurate? Y'all are crazy. Put some respect on our name, and you're gonna have to whether you like it or not.
Pan-Africanism began as a powerful and noble idea. At its core, it was about unity. Black people worldwide recognizing a shared history of oppression, colonialism, enslavement, and racial hierarchy, and working together for liberation. For foundational Black Americans, Pan-Africanism was not just theory, it was survival. It was born from the brutal realities of chattel slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, and state-sanctioned exclusion. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, Black American intellectuals such as Henry Sylvester Williams, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Marcus Garvey pushed Pan-Africanism as a global solution to white supremacy. Foundational Black Americans believed that if African people everywhere stood together politically, economically, and culturally, they could challenge Western domination and reclaim dignity on a global scale. This vision was sincere and deeply rooted in the lived experience of Black Americans. However, that belief rested on an assumption that did not fully align with reality. While some Africans and members of the global Black diaspora did support Black Americans, especially during the Civil Rights era, Pan-Africanism was never equally embraced across the board. Many African nations at the time were focused on their own survival under colonial rule, navigating tribal divisions, ethnic rivalries, and artificial borders imposed by European powers. Their struggles were real, but they were fundamentally different from the struggle of a people enslaved, stripped of identity, and forced to build a new nation within a hostile racial caste system. Colonialism did not only exploit Africa economically, it reshaped thinking and identity. European powers deliberately intensified tribalism and ethnic competition to prevent unity. As a result, the idea of worldwide Black unity often conflicted with long-standing ethnic identities that predated the transatlantic slave trade. Many Africans did not see Black Americans as family, but as foreigners or outsiders, and in some cases viewed them through stereotypes inherited from white supremacist narratives. At the same time, foundational Black Americans were reaching outward, seeking solidarity from a global community that often did not understand their unique historical experience. They were asking for unity from people who still possessed languages, land, lineage, and national identity, things that Black Americans had been systematically denied. It is important to acknowledge that there were a few Black people from the Caribbean, Africa, and other parts of the diaspora who stood with Black Americans. Individuals and movements from Jamaica, Trinidad, Haiti, Ghana, and Nigeria contributed intellectually and politically to Black liberation struggles. Some African leaders welcomed Black American activists and thinkers, and international pressure helped amplify civil rights issues. However, these allies were the exception rather than the norm. The broader diaspora often remained disconnected, indifferent, or divided, prioritizing tribal, national, or immigrant interests over global Black unity. In many cases, anti-Black American sentiment had already been absorbed through colonial and Western influence. Pan-Africanism also failed to address a hard truth. Shared skin color does not automatically produce shared values, shared interests, or shared loyalty. Foundational Black Americans developed a distinct culture, political consciousness, and worldview shaped by centuries of racial oppression within the United States. This produced a focus on civil rights, constitutional claims, reparations, and collective survival as a people. Many Africans and members of the diaspora did not share this framework, and in some cases benefited from distancing themselves from Black Americans rather than aligning with them. Too often, Pan-Africanism required Black Americans to give first, sacrifice first, and remain patient while receiving little tangible support in return. Economic exploitation, cultural disrespect, and political marginalization continued, sometimes even from those who publicly spoke the language of Black unity. Today, many younger generations of freedmen Black Americans are reassessing that history. We are rejecting the one-sided unity that has been going on for way too long. There is a growing recognition that no group will ever prioritize the interests of foundational Black Americans more than foundational Black Americans themselves. As a result, the focus has shifted towards strengthening internal unity within the foundational Black American community. emphasizing economic cooperation, political clarity, cultural preservation, and self-determination. This shift is not rooted in hatred or isolationism. It is rooted in self-preservation. Unity must begin at home. A people cannot effectively participate in global solidarity while their own community remains economically vulnerable, politically fragmented, and culturally misrepresented. Pouring outward while the foundation remains unstable only leads to further loss. The real lesson of Pan-Africanism is not that unity is impossible, but that unity must be reciprocal, honest, and grounded in shared interests rather than emotional symbolism. True unity requires mutual respect, equal sacrifice, and clearly defined boundaries. Foundational Black Americans are now choosing to define ourselves on our own terms, grounded in lineage, history, and specific claims tied directly to American slavery and Jim Crow. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.